Snow White and the Queen. Once upon a time, there lived a king and a queen who longed for a baby. One winter day, as the queen sat sewing by an open window, she pricked her finger with a needle. 2 drops of blood fell and landed on the snow. The queen noticed how striking the scarlet blood appeared against the dazzling white, all surrounded by an ebony window frame. I want a girl with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony, she wished out loud. Not long afterward, the king and queen had a baby girl, just as the queen had vanished. The girl's skin was white as the winter snow, so they named her Snow White. When the girl was still an infant, the young queen died. The king was grief-stricken, but eventually his loneliness led him to a new wife. The new queen was very beautiful and spent many hours preening before an enormous ornate golden mirror. She was obsessed with her appearance and caused an enchanted upon her beloved mirror. Mirror, you must reveal anything I wish to know and never ever lie, the queen commanded. The mirror shrank in response. Who is the most beautiful in all of the world? The queen asked. You are the most beautiful, my queen, the mirror replied, and the queen sighed with satisfaction. Each time she asked, the mirror answered the same, and each time the queen was soothed and reassured for a while. Years passed in peace, but when Snow White turned 16, the queen inquired again, who is the most beautiful in all the world? The mirror shimmered and held its silence. The queen hissed, You know that you cannot lie. Snow White is the most beautiful, admitted the mirror. The queen blazed with envy, but knowing the king honored his daughter, she stifled it for a time. Later that year, however, the king was called away to war. Though every day he departed, the queen summoned a hunter to the palace. Take this girl into the forest, she spat, shoving Snow White toward him, and kill her. The hunter knew the queen was cruel to the servants who disobeyed. With a heavy heart, he ushered the girl deep into the woods. Please, begged Snow White, if you let me live, I'll stay in the forest and never return. The hunter could not bear to harm Snow White, so he let her escape, assuming wild animals would soon complete the job that he could not. Soon, Snow White fled to the underworld, alone and afraid. She had her strength abed and her fingers stiffened with the cold. She spied a curious little cottage with a wisp of smoke rising from its chimney. Inside was a table with 7 chairs, even small plates, and 7 cupboards, though no one appeared to be home. In the next room, she found 7 little beds. Exhausted, she curled in one bed and soon fell asleep. When Snow White awoke, she was surrounded by 7 men, in all heavy work clothes, all smiling kindly and all about half her size. Don't be afraid, one said. We're mere miners who spend each day turning for gold in the mountains. And who might you be? When Snow White explained that she was told them and about the queen, the dwarfs grew brave. You can hide here as long as you wish, but if the queen learns that you are alive, you may come for you yet. Another dwarf warned Snow White, when we are away, never let anyone in. Meanwhile, as soon as the hunter returned to the palace alone, the queen rushed to the mirror. Who is the most beautiful in all the world? She demanded. The mirror shuddered, and the queen's eyes narrowed. Snow White, hiding in the dwarfs in the mountain, is still the most beautiful, the queen finally replied. The queen grew nauseous and envy and could not rest while the girl was still alive. Disguising herself as an old peddler, the queen collected a bag of ribbons and buttons, set out to the forest. When she reached the dwarf's cottage, she called out, Pretty things for sale. Snow White peeked out. I must not let anyone in, she explained, for the dwarfs were gone. Then come out and rock. The peddler coaxed, holding up a red ribbon that shimmered like a ruby against Snow White's skin. I suppose I could, Snow White said hesitantly. The moment Snow White stepped outside, the queen clutched the ribbon so tightly around the girl's throat that she suffocated her. Soon, Snow White fell to the ground, lifeless. The queen sped home to her golden mirror. Who is the most beautiful in all the world? She panted. You are the most beautiful, my queen, said the mirror. With that, the queen's red-hot rage finally dissipated. When the dwarfs returned home, they found Snow White lying there, pale and motionless. They cut the ruby ribbon with a choking gasp. Snow White awoke. This is the word of the queen, the dwarfs warned. Never let anyone in, and never accept anything from anyone. Weeks later, still confident that Snow White was dead, the queen addressed her mirror. "Who is the most beautiful in all the world?" she asked. "Snow White, retrieved by the drops, is the most beautiful." The mirror answered. The queen's throat tightened. Drawing upon her skill with potions, she crafted a poisoned apple, then uttered a clever incantation that made the red half deadly, but the green half safe. She disguised herself as an old farmer and set back across the mountain. As soon as Snow White saw someone approaching, she latched the shutters and barred the door. "Are you afraid of me, child?" Aaron laughed. "I've only come to sell apples." "I must not let anyone in," Snow White said. "You don't need to come in, dear. You can look from the window," the woman said.